I want to go across straight to Faiz Fazal, who is joining us from UK, Indian cricketer. Amazing to talk to you right now. This was expected. My question is really about whether this was ever a contest between India and Pakistan, or was it just hype? Because in terms of quality, what's been exposed is that India is far ahead.
Hi, Amitos. I think you rightly said. To be honest, on paper and on records, there was no such competition between the two teams. But it's always India-Pakistan is always a very big game. Not only about skills, but the nervousness and the pressure we both the teams have on ourselves because of the fans and the people they support. So I think this game was really big for us, and I think India winning this game is such a great gift to us, and I'm sure that we'll be doing great in future games as well.
All right, Kishore Bhawani also joining us live from Kolkata. Mr. Bhawani, thanks so much for staying up this late. Was it ever a contest? All right, Mr. Bhimani, if you can hear me, was it ever a contest, this match? Gautam Gambhir, for instance, Mr. Bhimani, Gautam Gambhir said that bottom line, after 10 overs, the first 10 overs was the only time when Pakistan really played. After that, it was never really a contest. Do you agree that there was never really a contest in this match?
Well, here was a contest that was expected to be really big, really a cliffhanger, a close contest. All kinds of words were used, that it would be a battle royal and all that. The fact is, it fizzled out right from the beginning. India began in a manner between Rahul and Rohit. They began so promisingly that they seemed to have a stranglehold on the match from the opening batting itself. The only time that the Pakistani captain did something right, the Pakistani team did something right, was when they won the toss. Having won the toss, they decided to field, which I thought was fairly the right thing to do, because with rain interruptions on the horizon, you have to be field first. It's not their fault, but it didn't work out. The Indian batting settled in. The first 4 or 5 overs, as you must have noticed, were a little dodgy. But then once they settled down, they started playing strokes, they started middling the ball, started running well between wickets.
All right, thanks so much for that, sir. I just want to bring in Faiz once again. Faiz, we're seeing celebrations across the country. Rohit Sharma, once again, the man of the match. What a star. Give us a word about him. What do you have to say about him? What's got into him? Is there a ghost into him? I don't understand what's happening.
Amitos, my prediction with all my teammates here where I play, it was like Rohit Sharma will be the highest run getter in the World Cup. So it's going right. He's batting tremendously. And what a performer. He's a big match player. He's proved on every stage. And I think the way he's batting, the matured innings he played is tremendous. I mean, starting the innings, I know that the first 10 overs were really crucial when Amir and Ehsan Adil were bowling, and Virats as well. So I think Amir was bowling really well in the first 10 overs. So they Rohit and Rahul, even Rahul, they negotiated the new ball really well. But they capitalized their start, and the way Rohit batted in his innings was tremendous to watch, and what a treat. I mean, he looks so effortless, and he makes batting so easy. So
yeah,
I think
he's really something else. He's making this his World Cup. This is going to be another Yuvraj Singh moment of the 2011 World Cup. But I want to go across to Sonakshi in the national capital, because she's been with a number of Indian supporters. Sonakshi, if you can hear me, I'm shouting. What's going on there?
Stand by. Amit, I cannot even begin to tell you the Josh at this point in time. I cannot begin to tell you how much people are celebrating at the moment. 6-0 has become 7-0. 6-0 again has become 7-0. And as you can see, fans around me are absolutely happy and absolutely celebrating. Everybody's Josh is high, and everybody's saying that 6-0 has become 7-0. And as you can see, the fans behind me are celebrating at this moment. So you can definitely feel it.
talk to them.
India 6-0 से अभी 7-0 हो गया है. What do you have to say about this?
No, India will win the World Cup.
Okay, India is going to win the
India
World
will
Cup. That's
always
the
win to
confidence.
Pakistan.
Woo!
Pakistan hमेशा हारेगा. Pakistan will lose.
Cheers for India! Yeah, India will win the World Cup.
शर्मा जी का बेटा है, आज पाकिस्तान को धोया है.
India will win the World Cup. Cheers for India!
All right, Sonakshi, I guess there's just so much happening. We're going to let you enjoy what you're doing. That is great stuff. Obviously, the passion is running high right now. I want to go to John Gloster. John Gloster, former Indian physiotherapist. John, thanks so much for staying up. Sorry about that. Don't really have control over the English weather. But I did know that India was anyway going to win. Did you have any doubts?
No, I think, you've only look around the field, the way the Indian players present themselves in the field these days, the confidence, the way they move in the field, the agility, the mobility, everything you ask for in a professional cricketer in 2019, the Indian team has it. And I just don't get the same feeling with the Pakistan boys at the moment. They just don't have that edge, and it's a physical edge. It really is a physical edge, and that's reflecting in their mental game now as well. So I think we knew pretty early on that it was always going to be a blue day for us.
Right, okay. I just want to now talk about some of the technical aspects of what happened in this match. Yes, we talked about Rohit, we've talked about many other things, but I just want to ask you, Faiz, what was Virat Kohli thinking when he decided to walk, when he wasn't even out?
Yes, I mean...
and we'll bring up those pictures of Virat actually walking.
Yeah, sometimes as a batsman, the handles, sometimes they just get a small cracks in between. So you can, when you play that shot, a pull shot, that was a strong shot. So you can sometimes feel that there's some noise, and then you believe that you have nicked it. But yeah, that was a little strange thing. But I don't know. I mean, thankfully, I thought that Virat must have thought that, yeah, we have got plenty on the board. I don't think they'll chase down this total. So I think that was enough.
Okay, John, what's still not clear in my head, because I played a little bit of cricket myself, and I know that happens. But this is the first. I don't remember having ever heard of this happening in international cricket, where the bat's two joints makes a noise, and that's what you think is the reason you are out. It's never happened.
Yeah, look, I mean, I've certainly had it happen to me when I've played, and I think we could all, everyone who's played the game will know that it does happen. And it's unfortunate, but these things happen. And even some people's joints click. You've only listened to some people moving around the crease, and a lot of people whose ankles make quite audible clicks, and that'll happen, and that can happen to the wrist and shoulder as well. So these mics are so sensitive now that they're going to pick up even small, even body noises now that maybe misconstrued as an edge. So we've got to be careful of all these tiny little things and need to start factoring them in as well.
Okay, all right. Mr. Bomani, if I can bring you in right now. This is about Pulwama and Balakot. Everyone talked about this match after that happened before the elections. There was talk about how India may not even play the match against Pakistan. In fact, wrote to the ICC saying this match shouldn't happen, Pakistan should be barred. All of that happened. So this is a win which is about all of that, a tribute to the soldiers. It's not just about what happened on the ground, Mr. Bomani.
Well, something, I was thinking to myself that we've been shouting, hoarse about this whole thing. But today, we've had a good reprisal. The fact of, as they say in cricketing terms, you let your bat do the talking. So do the talking on the cricket field. You completely, completely bamboozle your enemy. You wipe him out. It was so good that I felt that we had got a little bit of our own back.
All right. Okay. Let me just talk to Faiz a little bit about what happened to Bhuvneshwar. What do you think is going on? I just think that they decided that they don't want to risk a hamstring injury. And the best person to talk to about that is, of course, John, but we'll come to him. Faiz, these players, they didn't want to risk. They thought they had the match in the bag, perhaps. What do you make of it?
Oh yes, I think there must be some niggle with Bhuvneshwar Kumar because the weather, it keeps on changing. It's a little cold, so when you're standing after you bowl a over, it can get a little stiff and little when it just cools down a little more quicker than any other part of the world. So I think that must have caused that injury or that niggle. But I'm sure I mean that's what the captain and even Bhuvi must have thought that it's no point going on the field again and risking that injury to aggravate and have more injury concerns in the team. So already we have one. Yeah.
All right, John, 2 questions for you. From the looks of it, how bad is it? Do you see him missing, let's say, the next match, which is in a few days on the 22nd against Afghanistan? Or is this only about the fact that when you are talking about a hamstring, since I've had those injuries, a hammy is something you want to be rather careful about. Isn't that right?
Yeah, you definitely are on the side of caution. With hamstring and calf are the 2 muscle groups who always are on the side of caution. The good thing is he left the field reasonably comfortably. He didn't look to be limping noticeably when he left the field, so that's a real positive. Yes, you're not going to risk him going back out again. That's number one. But now you've got to work out why did it happen. Fez rightly pointed out that the weather does play a very big role in this. Cool down, heat up, cool down. But the biggest predictor and precursor to hamstring injury is fatigue. So we need to go back. So they'll go back, download his GPS data, which they all have these days, and work out, was his load too much previously? Was he underdone coming into this match? These are all the things you now got to start factoring in and asking questions around. The other thing is the surfaces. The surface in England are a lot heavier. So what happens is the spikes tend to get stuck in the ground a lot harder in England. So therefore you need to work harder to pull your spikes out of the ground. And that fatigues the hamstrings a lot more than it does in the subcontinent. So that's a really big factor you need to take a note of, especially when playing in the UK. And then the other thing you need to consider with Bhuvi is he has had a history of low back injuries in the past. And they are also a big predictor of hamstring and lower limb muscle strain, are often caused from a neural issue stemming from an old low back injury. So that'd be the 3 or 4 things that I'd definitely be looking at.
Yeah. Okay, quickly, we can actually bring up the graphic of Bhuvneshwar Kumar's injury, what's known about it right now. He was injured in the 5th over. He bowled only about 2.4 overs. He pulled his hamstring versus Pakistan, of course. He has tightness in his left hamstring, and he's the second Indian to pick up an injury at the World Cup after Shikhar Dhawan. So that's a worry for India. India's next match, though, is on the 22nd of June, and he could perhaps be fit for that, of course. Patrick Virat, who's the Indian physiotherapist, will work on him, and perhaps he'll get him fit in time. All right, Faiz with us, and John. John, what was your number 1 moment? You heard our number 1 to 5 moments, or 5 to 1 moments, as we put it in the sequence of the match. It wasn't in terms of a rating. So, but what do you think was the number 1 moment for you in the match?
I think you've always got to be, from a batting perspective, I think, Rohit shining is number 1 for me, but also from the Pakistan side, as soon as Pakistan was out, that was the turning point for me from the Pakistan batting point of view. He can destroy you. I've worked with him in the past. He's a very special player, but for me, we just need to sit back and review where we sit with these 2 injuries now, and do we, push the panic button just yet, or we just look back at the rest of the squad? I know there's particular depth in this squad, and you've got Shami sitting in the wings just in case Bhuvi's not quite right. Rahul stepped up beautifully to fill the shoes of Shikhar Dhawan. So, they've definitely done their homework before this tournament about backups. Injuries are going to happen in big tournaments like this. And you play out every scenario around injuries before the tournament. And no doubt they've ticked all the right boxes with these players. So I think India can be very, very happy around the decisions they made leading into this tournament.
Okay, Faiz, what was the number 1 moment for you?
I think for me, number 1 moment was the partnership, the opening partnership. That was really important. The way we laid our base, so that was really important because we had a different opener in this game, Rahul. So he capitalized his opportunity, and that partnership was really crucial.
You've been backing Rahul. You've been backing Rahul from the start of this World Cup, huh?
And Shikhar as well. But I mean, Rahul is the best batsman we have. I mean, at number 4. I mean, yeah. So number 2 would be I think Kuldeep getting those 2 wickets, Babar Azam and Fakhar Zaman.
Yeah,
those 2 are very crucial
amazing.
wickets.
That ball to Fakhar was just amazing.
Babar.
Yeah,
to
Babar Azam. Yes, to Babar Azam.
Yeah. I think for a couple of overs, Babar was looking to play Kuldeep towards the point region, and that's what he tried to do. He pitched the ball really up, and the ball was gripping a bit. So I think that turned a bit and went through the gates. So that was a really.
I just want to bring up a graphic of the Rohit Sharma in this World Cup. The hitman has been on target. 122 of 144 versus South Africa in the opening match, 57 of 70 in the next match, and now he goes ahead and scores 140 of 113 balls against Pakistan. Boy, is he in great form. John, this is the kind of stuff the dreams are made of. But when a batsman in a World Cup like tournament is hitting a purple patch like this, how does the team manage him?
Again, we look at his loads. He's had some heavy loads leading into this innings and now beyond this innings. So it's all about load monitoring for him now. So his recovery protocols over the next 2 or 3 days are really, really important. He gets backed off now for 2 or 3 days. We download all his data, look at exactly how much ground he's covered and all his work ratios, and then do map his training accordingly. So that's the next 2 or 3 days for him is already mapped out. Look, he's a very valuable asset, and he would be one that if there was another injury at the top of the order, then it does, that's a scenario they probably haven't played out, having two of the top 3 guys out. So looking after him now, protecting him on the back of all the information that they have on him is really, really important. So for me, it's all about recovery over the next 2 to 3 days, build up his load again, peak again on Saturday in the next match.
All right. Thanks so much for that, John. And of course, Faiz. Faiz is out there in the UK. He's going to be partying for a little longer. John, thanks so much for being with us once again and talking cricket and injuries, the one that's happened to Bhuvneshwar. Really appreciate that.